Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. This is Dr. Ijaz Ahmad Tatla, and I am with uh, the students of MPhil Educational Leadership Policy and Plans. And in this session, we are supposed to discuss the principal performance standards. In earlier session, we have gone through in detail with its definition, its description, its components, salient features, and provided databases to be used to evaluate the performance of principles. And we have described in detail these standards. Let's see what's new here in this slide. Again, as usual, I would like to ask you to have a paper and pen with you to write down your questions and queries. And in the end, you are welcomed in Google Meet, where we would be able to discuss the questions at large. Moreover, you may write your questions on Google Classroom comments, and I will respond there accordingly. I hope all of you are fine enough with the grace of Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Stay home, stay blessed. Let's move towards our today's lesson, that is Principles Performance Standards. In this regard, principal performance is assessed through student growth. You know, student growth is based on the achievement of the students, working conditions, growth goals. Both of the key components have been based on the growth. So in total, growth is academic, social, societal, personal, physical, and in terms of personality and richness of the ideas. So students' growth is very crucial in this performance of the principles. They don't have only to have a degree with them or a certificate. They do have money, mannerism, skills, advanced cognition, and many more. Therefore, each source of evidence that comprises the effectiveness system is aligned to and anchored by these standards. So in any of the institution, wherever we are supposed to know about the effectiveness of the system, that are solely driven by these standards in the institutions. While decisions around summative rating have not been made at this time, principals will eventually receive their summative rating based on the years. You know, rating is of two types, summative and formative. In case of institutions and specifically the principal's performance, it is sum total of the summative ratings. And finally, it is based on the sum of all of the activities gone through the institution during the year. The standards will also inform professional growth planning, superintendent site visits, observations, conversations for feedback, and formative ongoing assessments of the principal's performance. As I earlier discussed in the last session, that the terminology superintendent stands against, I must say in Pakistani context, that is Uh, if I talk about the district, then it is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of the district. So उसके विजिट्स, उसकी क्या ऑब्जर्वेशंस हुई, उसने क्या कन्वर्सेशंस की, उसकी जो इंस्ट्रक्शंस और गाइडलाइंस थी उन पे फीडबैक क्या मिला, किस तरह से इदारे के लोगों ने उसको लिया और उसको इनकॉर्पोरेट किया और उसमें अपना इनपुट दिया और सेट स्टैंडर्ड्स को मीट करने के लिए up to what extent they have played their role and they have put their potential into practice towards the achievement of the goals, and accordingly the ongoing assessments of the principal's performance during the year, what novelty and currency of the ideas and the activities the principal have gone through in the institution, like what is the growth rate of the institution, students towards admission, towards the progress of their academics, their achievements, and infrastructure, as well as HR activities, trainings, workshops, refresher courses, hand-on activities, and parallel recreational opportunities to the staff, to the students, and many more. Let's discuss in detail the terms used in the rating scale on the basis of which the performance of any of the principal is measured. So this is the rating scale. There are different categories, and the detail of the description about that category and different definitions. When we say the principal is highly effective, then it means that the teacher maintains performance, the accomplishments and behaviors that consistently and considerably surpass the established standards. It means when we say highly effective, it means there is exceptional performance as sustains high performance over a period of time. Behaviors have strong positive impact on learners and school climate, and they serve as role model to others. So if all these things are intact, then it is said that the principal is highly effective. The principal is known as, considered as, are placed in the category of effective principal if the teacher meets the standards in manner that are consistent with the school's mission and goals. And it is defined in detail as proficient performance. He meets the requirements contained in job description as expressed in evaluation criteria. Behaviors have positive impact on learners and school climate, willing to learn and apply new skills. So if these things are intact in the institution, then the school principal is known as an effective principal, and his performance is placed in the category of effective. If teacher often performs below the established standard or in a manner that is inconsistent with the school's mission and goals, accordingly, there will be below acceptable performance, like they require support in meeting the standards. They results in less than quality work performance, and the leads to areas for teachers' improvement being jointly considered and placed between teacher and evaluator. On the basis of these hallmarks, the performance of principal is categorized partially effective, and the principal, when, is categorized ineffective if the situation is the teacher consistently performs below the established standards or in a manner that is inconsistent with the school mission and goals, and their performance are unacceptable because they do not meet requirements contained in the job description as expressed in evaluation criteria. They results in minimal standard student learning and may result in employee not being recommended for continued employment. So this is the red area. They have crossed the red line and are placed in the category of ineffective. So the people working there, because have shown their concern, being reluctant to do something and uninterested, so they can be replaced, they can be fired. Whereas when they are partially effective, they falls in the yellow zone and they might be triggered up to an effective zone, that is the green area. And with the more enthusiasm and much passion, they put their potential towards more than effectiveness, then they are known as the highly effective, and they are placed in the blue area. So very interestingly, these are the different terms used in the rating scale, and the description of the rating scale, when and where an effective, ineffective, partially effective, and highly effective people are categorized. Let's discuss in detail the performance standard one, that is the instructional leadership. The principal fosters the success of all students by facilitating the development, communication, implementation, and evaluation of a shared vision of teaching and learning that leads to students' academic growth and school improvement. So the instructional leaders are there to facilitate the teachers, facilitate the students, facilitate the organization towards their development, their communication, learning, and implementation of the um, available and planned materials and schedules, and evaluation of shared vision of teaching and learning. So whatever the set standards and vision they have framed, they are, instructional leader is there to share it with with their colleagues to lead the students, so as to make their academic growth up to mark and improvement of the school as a whole. Performance indicator, the principal leads the collaborative development and sustainment of a shared vision for educational improvement and works with staff, students, parents, school councils, and other stakeholders to develop a mission and programs consistent with the school and district improvement plan. Let me share here with you the district improvement plan is like the uh, in public sector department of education, there is CM roadmap that is common for all of the province of the Punjab, and in each district there is this roadmap is available to all of the teachers and all of the school head teachers and principals. They have to work accordingly to meet the uh, target accordingly. So all of the stakeholders, the students, teachers, parents, community, and officials are directly involved through school councils to meet this target, thoroughly going through this roadmap. Collaboratively plans, what principal do is he plans collaboratively, implements, supports, monitors, and evaluates progress and lead to continuous school improvement. So these are the activities to be performed by the principal in school to evaluate, to support, look after the thing and facilitate, and where needed to give some instructions and guidance, and seek some consultation and their input as well. And the ultimate motive of all this is to enhance the teaching and students' progress. So if continuously teachers are working up to mark and they are on the way to develop themselves professionally, and students' academic performance is triggered up continuously. So this leads towards the continuous school improvement. Principal also analyzes the current academic achievement data and instruction strategies to make appropriate educational decisions to improve classroom instructions, increase student achievement, and improve overall school effectiveness. Another task done by the principal, being an instructional leadership, he has to analyze the ongoing academic achievement and the previous one, and identify the gaps, and make efforts to bridge that gap through educational decisions to improve classroom instructions, and ultimately it will increase the students' achievement. When students' achievement is increased, that it means that teachers are working very well. So ultimately it have impact towards the improvement of overall school effectiveness. Moreover, the performance indicators as an instructional leader, the next one is principal demonstrates knowledge of research-based instructional best practices. They don't use some sort of vague statements and vague ideas. They have to put into practice the things which are proven through some certain research. They work collaboratively with staff and identify student needs and to design, revise, monitor instruction to ensure effective delivery of the required curriculum. The ultimate task of whole school is to complete the syllabus going through the specified curriculum with some clarity and vigilance. So for this, what the principal do is they have to work collaboratively with his teachers and students to design, revise, and monitor the ways of teaching and pedagogy. With strong pedagogy, they can make sure the effectiveness of the delivery of knowledge. Moreover, he supports the teachers to access resources, for example, time, fiscal, human, for the successful implementation of effective instruction strategies. So towards accomplishment of the task, it is very necessary some effective implementation of the effective instruction strategies should be opted. So to do this, they have to support the teachers towards easy access of the resources required for this effective instruction strategies. Moreover, he monitors and evaluates the use of assessment of and for learning. For example, diagnostic, formative, summative assessments. All these three types of assessment provide support to teachers and the principals as well to evaluate uh, and set standards for further and identify the loopholes, weaknesses, and to rectify the deficiencies. It is to inform instructional practices and to provide timely and accurate feedback to students and parents. It's very positive gesture from the school side. If students and parents are timely provided the accurate feedback, they can it will enhance their confidence on the school and the teachers as well, and they will be able to meet the deficiencies, and any of the appreciation if from their side is needed to the school, they will provide, and any of the critique and uh, uh, support supposed to be provided from their side, they will do for that. Moreover, what principal do is he works with school council to design and implement effective and efficient schedules that protect and maximize instructional time. So it's very crucial role of school council toward designing and implementation of the effective and efficient schedules, when, where, what to do, and how to do, and it will uh, protect and maximize the instructional time of the school. Moreover, he provides the instructional focus and creates the culture for continuous learning of all members of the school community. The members of school community are teachers, students, parents, uh, social members from the society, and the people of community. They might be some businessmen, the well-known people from the society, and all the people, they are concerned with the school. So if they are being provided some culture of continuous learning, they can play their role towards uh, making that school and learning environment and learning organization. Principal also supports the professional learning and instructional practices that incorporate the use of multiple sources of data and result in increased students' growth. It's very necessary for any of the principal to be aware with the latest and novel pedagogy skills. He should be concerned with the latest research toward the instructional practices so as to make his teachers uh, convenient to support them towards the incorporation of use of the multiple sources of data. Because with the latest and the current techniques, it will provide some interesting, and it will have it will improve the interest of the students towards the learning, and ultimately students' growth will be increased. And above all, the growth of students is the ulterior motive for all of this practice. Last but not least, principal participates as appropriate in professional learning alongside teachers when instructional strategies are being taught for future implementation. His or her role is very crucial and important towards leading his or her colleagues towards the professional learning, he should go for himself or herself appropriate professional learning along with his teachers toward the instructional strategies so as to make the environment and culture of the school much learned. Moreover, he demonstrates the importance of professional growth by providing adequate time and resources for teachers and staff to participate in professional learning, that is peer observation, mentoring, coaching, study groups, learning teams. All these four components, coaching, mentoring, peer observation, study groups, and learning teams, creates a culture of teaching and learning and sharing of good sources towards the students' growth, because it will enhance the professional growth of the teacher, and all of these facilities are required to be provided by the principal. So therefore, he should demonstrate the importance of professional growth, providing etiquette, time, and resources. So all the way, all the time, the teachers should not be bound to perform their classroom activities. They do have some spare time for their professional growth during their schedule, during their timetable. They should have some time for readings, learning, and listening, watching videos relevant to their professional growth. Moreover, principal evaluates the impact professional learning has on the staff, school improvement, and the students' academic progress. So because he is their superintendent, he has to work there as superintendent. He has to maintain a data and record of the professional learning of the school and teachers, and accordingly the academic progress of the students. No doubt uh, he should have lots of information in his bag when any of the superior and senior, like I say, CEO, Chief Executive Education Officer, or the superintendent should come to visit. He can provide, the thing should be on his fingertips to be shared with the seniors, any of the NGO, any of the organization, any of the media, any of the other people who is interested to know about the school. So that is all about the performance indicators on the basis of which any of the principal can perform in a better way. I think so. In detail, all of the features and factors have been discussed in detail. So as he or the principal have to do, not alone, with the combination and collaboration of his colleagues, his high-ups, his seniors, community, teachers, all of the stakeholders, he can improve improve the standard of his school with the and the growth or performance of the students. Ultimately, this will play a vital role towards the whole school improvement, the whole school effectiveness. It will create a positive climate of learning. It will enhance and create a good culture of teaching and learning in the institution. In next session, we will study in detail the performance standard 2 of the school climate. So as far as this first one standard is concerned, we studied in detail. Here are on the basis of the previous criteria on which on the basis of which the performance is evaluated of the principal, we can see here ineffective, developing, accomplished, and exemplary. So when the principal is ineffective, if principal rarely fosters the success of all students by facilitating the development, communication, implementation, or evaluation of a shared vision of teaching and learning that leads to students' academic growth and school improvement. And if he is inconsistently fosters the success of all students by facilitating the development, communication, implementation, or evaluation of shared vision of teaching and learning that leads to the students' academic growth of school improvement, then he can be said that he is developing. And when the principal fosters the success of all students by facilitating development, communication, implementation, and evaluation of shared vision of teaching and learning that leads to students' academic growth and school improvement, then he can be put in the category of accomplished. Is the expected level of performance. He is meeting the level of expected level of performance. And if the principal actively and consistently employs innovative and effective leadership strategies that maximize students' academic growth and result in a shared vision of teaching and learning that reflects excellence, then he can be placed in the category of exemplary. In addition to meeting the requirements for accomplished, mean expected level of performance जो था वो तो उसने पूरा कर लिया, अब वो उससे आगे बढ़ के और मजीद बेहतर तरीके से काम कर रहा है. So we have discussed in detail the first performance standard of and with all of the indicators. In next session, we are going to discuss about the performance standard 2, that is the school climate. In previous one, there was the performance standard 1, that was the instructional leadership.